Hello, I'm Mike and I'm with Will, and you're joining us today for our second game of our narrative Crusade series, The Mystery of Artana III. And in our last game, in the outskirts of one of Artana III's ruined hives, Lieutenant Eskadon of the Silver Templars encountered some Necron forces, even though he was expecting some Death Guard. And he sent Squad Gallinis, a squad of intercessors, to report back to Captain Palamas, who was setting up a supply base in another part of the ruins, to alert him of the Necron presence, and not a moment too soon, as out of the mists, a small force of Necrons has arrived, led by Apophis the Butcher. So this is going to be a game of Assassinate as per the Crusade mission rules. I'm going to be playing the Space Marines, and as the defender I have to set up on my half of the board. So we have Captain Palamas. He's a Space Marine captain with a relic shield and a muscrafted power sword. He also has the armour of Zenaris from the Silver Templar supplement, which means he ignores AP-1 and AP-2. He also has the Champion of Humanity trait. We have a veteran squad of intercessors, Squad Marcos, and they actually have the Centurious Service Studs battle honour, because they're veterans from the Corvon 2 campaign, so it lets me decide which tactical doctrine they're in at the start of the battle round. They're probably just going to be in the tactical doctrine unless I say otherwise. We have Ancient Argento, a Redemptor Dreadnought with a heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, and Squad Gallinis, a squad of intercessors with bolt rifles. And for our Necron forces, we have Phalanx Aleph, as a squad of Necron warriors with Gauss flares. In the middle, we have the Avengers, a squad of Sautekh destroyers, and they have the Fleet of Foot battle honour, so they get +1 to their move, charge rolls, and advance rolls. But they also have the Battle Scar Crazed Reaper. It means they have to charge the closest enemy model, but they can reroll hits as it. And behind them is Apophis the Butcher, the Sautekh destroyer lord. And he has the Nano Scarab Casket relic, so his living metal ability makes him restore 2 wounds per turn instead of 1. There's also a little plasma sight tucked in there. It doesn't have a name. And over at the other end is Phalanx Bet, who have the Gauss Reapers. I'll do a quick overview of the battlefield. So these ruins down here, and those ruins up there, this ruin in the centre, and that terrain piece over there. And this little bit down here are all ruins, so they all count as area terrain. The one in the centre, the one at the top there, and this bell tower are all obscuring as well. And otherwise, these sort of lone bits of wall are just ruined walls. And we have some barricades here to represent the Space Marine positions. The supplies they've been gathering have just been set up as a barricade. And these little pylons are just for decoration. And for our mission rules, so firstly the attacker gets to decide who goes first, and the attacker gains 10 victory points if they manage to wound the defender's warlord, so that's the captain, per turn if they manage to do that, and they get 40 victory points if they manage to kill the captain, and the game will end at the end of that battle round as well if that happens, while the defenders gain 10 victory points if the captain manages to destroy any models in a turn, and 50 victory points if he's still alive at the end of 5 battle rounds. One little extra rule I get, because I'm the defender and my warlord has less than 10 wounds, I get access to the Restoratives rule. Whenever the captain takes a wound, I can roll dice, and on a 6 he ignores that wound, and at the start of each of my turns he'll regain 1 wound as well. And for our agendas, I'm going to pick Survivor. I'm going to pick the captain, but you pick a unit at the start of your command phase, and then at the end of the battle, if it survives, it gains 2 experience points, and if it's not below half strength, it gains another 2 experience points. So if the captain ends the game with more than half his wounds remaining, he'll gain 4 experience.
And I'm going to pick Kingslayer, which gives 3 experience to the unit that kills the enemy warlord, if that happens. Partly because it's thematic, and also because I think that might be the best way to get a unit leveled up.
I'm going to start on 3 command points because this is just a combat patrol level game. The Necrons start with 4 because I have 3 Crusade points to the Necrons 2. And War has decided he wants to go first, so we'll head into Necrons turn 1.
So in my movement phase, we'll start down here with Phalanx Aleph. They've moved up through the ruins, but they can now all see a member of the veteran intercessors. And over here, we just rolled it off camera, but all of these units advanced. The warriors of Phalanx Bet got a 5, so they've advanced, and all but one of them are in range with their Gauss Reapers. Actually, no, the Sautekh destroyers didn't actually advance because they have an increased movement of 9 inches thanks to their battle honour. They could technically declare a charge if I wanted them to. We'll see how we'll go. And then there's the plasma sight there, and the Sautekh Lord Apophis. He can draw line of sight to the intercessors as well with his assault weapon.
Yeah, and in the command phase, Necrons only gain a command point. There's no command protocols or anything because you don't have an actual proper lord on the battlefield.
No nobles. We're going to start with Phalanx Aleph with their Gauss Flayers. They're going to put everything into Squad Marcos, the veteran intercessors. And I will spend a command point for Relentless Onslaught, which is on an unmodified hit roll of 6, they gain an additional hit. 16 shots, because 6 of the models are in rapid fire range. That's the increased 18 inch for being a Sautekh Dynasty, hitting on 3s. We've got 3 misses in there, but 3 sixes, so they get put back in as additional hits.
So 16 hits.
And we're winning on 4s. Ooh, only 6 wounds.
It's AP -1, but I've got cover from the barricades, so 3 plus saves. I failed 2, I'll command point one of them. Yeah, I pass, so one of the veterans takes a wound. This guy on the end will take a wound.
We'll do squad bet now. They advance, but their guns are assault weapons, so they're going to fire everything into squad Gallas.
And I'm going to spend a command point to play Transhuman Physiology on them, because those are strength 5 guns, so the Necrons are shooting at them.
But I think I will actually spend a command point for disintegration capacitors, which means that 6s to hit automatically wound. 18 shots, because 9 of them are in range, hitting on 4s. So I've got 3 automatic wounds and 9 other hits, which wound on 4s because of Transhuman Physiology. For another 4, so that's 7 wounds.
That made a difference. 7 4 plus saves, which I made 6, so only one of them takes a wound. So I'll put it on that chap there. And
the Scorpet Lord will fire at them as well. He has an assault weapon, so even though he advanced, assault 2d3 with his Enmitic Annihilator for 3. Hitting on 3s because he advanced. Oh, they all hit. And wounding on 4s because of Transhuman, even though it's strength 6, 2 wounds at AP -1.
So 2 3 plus saves, made both. So we remembered that the Avengers have that rule where they need to charge the closest enemy model, so where they were, they would have had to charge the Dreadnought. Since you remember that, I've allowed Will to go back and move them further back, since he wasn't intending for them to charge. And that is a rule that is fairly easy to forget, because it's a rule they don't usually have.
Yeah, so that's from their battle scar they got from the Necron book, but yeah, I just forgot about that. So what I've done is just left them back a bit further, so they will still have to declare a charge on the Dreadnought, but it's going to be like a 10-inch charge, which I'm hoping not to roll, because I want them to be far enough forward they can do something useful next turn, but where they were far too close, so...
So they still have to roll their charge.
So I'm hoping for less than a 10, basically. Oh, for 4, they're fine, they're not going to charge.
Yeah, they would have been fine anyway.
So that will be the end of my turn.
Yeah, we're on to Space Marines turn 1. So in my command phase I gain a command point, and I'm going to decide that Squad Marcos is in the Tactical Doctrine. I'm going to spend a command point to use the Wisdom of the Ancient stratagem, and I'm going to pick the Lieutenant Aura that allows core units around the Dreadnought to reroll 1s to wound. And in my movement phase, very simple, the Dreadnought Argento is just going to move forward a tiny bit so his base is inside this ruin so that he can see through it, because it's obscuring. So I'm going to start my shooting phase off with Captain Palamas. He's going to fire his heavy bolt pistol into Phalanx Aleph. So he has a single shot hitting on 2. He hits, wounds on a 4. He does.
I'll put the hit on someone in cover so I get my full fast save, which I failed.
Does he get back up?
No. So that one dies.
Next up, the Veteran Intercessor Squad, Squad Marcos, is going to shoot at Phalanx Aleph as well. We've got 10 shots because we're rapid firing, hitting on 3s. So I can reroll that 1 because of the Captain, and reroll that 2 because of Bond Marshal, because of Silver Templars. So we get 9 hits. Wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s because of the Dreadnought's Aura. Reroll 1s, and that's going to be 6 wounds. And they're AP -2 because they are in the Tactical Doctrine.
I'm going to start, there's 2 guys left in cover, so I'll put the hits on them, so there'll be a 5+ for them. So the first one dies, and the second one dies, and then the other 4 will be on people not in cover, so I'm looking for 6s. No, so they kill 6. Reanimation protocols, in which I regain 2. Oh yes, rerolling 1s because they're warriors. Oh, wait for the third one, so 3 overall are killed and don't reanimate. So these 2 have to die because they were in cover. Those ones. Then we get 3 back, so we'll put them at the front, just to get a bit further up the field.
So there's 6 remaining. Next up, Squad Gallinus is going to shoot at the other Necron Warrior Squad with the Fleckgauss Reapers. So they also have 10 shots, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s because of the Captain. We can reroll one of those 2s because of Bond Marshal, and those 1s because of the Captain. 7 hits. Once again, wounding on 4s and rerolling 1s because of the Dreadnought. Reroll the 1, only 4 wounds.
Got 1 guy in cover, so I'll put a 4+ on him. He's dead. And 3 not in cover, 5s. Made 1. 3 reanimation protocols. Oh, a double 6. So 3 go down, but 2 of them reanimate. So this one has to die. And we'll take 2 from here. But I'll just put them back where they were, basically, because I don't want to get any further forward. So there's a Dreadnought.
So lastly we've got the Dreadnought. He's going to put his twin grenade launchers into this warrior squad, and the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon and the heavy flamer into those destroyers because he can see them through that window there.
But I will spend a command point for whirling onslaught, so when a Scorpic destroyer's unit is targeted for the rest of the phase, they're -1 to wound.
So I'll start with the grenade launchers. They've got d6 shots each into the warriors, but there's more than 5 of them, so I'll get a minimum of 3. We've got 9 shots hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s because of the captain. Rerolling that 1 into a hit, 7 hits. And wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s because the aura affects him as well. Reroll those 1s. Only 3 wounds. 3, 4 plus saves.
Failed all 3, and then we can reanimation protocols. Oh, another 2. So we lose 3, and then we'll bring 2 back, so I'm going to keep them there.
Then the heavy flamer into the Sautekh destroyers, d6 shots for 2. Wounding on 5s, because they got -1 to wound. Oh, no wounds, that made a difference. And 12 shots from the Gatling cannon, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Well, there's no 1s, but I get to reroll 1 because of one of those 2s because of Bond Marshal. Into a hit, so that's 10 hits. Wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s. 8 wounds, that's AP -2.
5 plus. Failed 5.
So that's enough to kill 1.
Reanimation protocols. Oh, I made 2, but not 1, and he's not a warrior. Needed to make all 3.
And you can't reroll with a command reroll.
So we'll take out 1 or to kill that 1.
But I'm not going to declare any charges, so that will be the end of my turn. And the end of the battle round, the captain managed to destroy an enemy model, so I'll gain 10 victory points. So I go up to 10 victory points, and we head into Necrons turn 2.
In my command phase, I gain a command point, and the Sautekh destroyer who's wounded goes up to 2 wounds because it's living metal. Now it's going to be Operation Kill the Dreadnought this turn, so the warriors with Gauss flares have moved so they can see it. And then in the middle, all the destroyers and the little plasma sight have moved up, and these warriors have moved around a little bit so that some of them are in cover. So we will start with the Gauss flares and the Dreadnought. They're all in rapid fire range. We've got 12 shots hitting on 3s. It's cocked and reroll that 1. So that's 9 hits. Wounding on 5s. 3 wounds at AP -1.
3, 4 plus saves. Made 2. Down to 11 wounds.
And then we'll do Phalanx Bet as target, and I'm going to use all my remaining 3 command points. 2 for Methodical Destruction, which is the Sautekh specific stratagem. Gives me +1 to hit against something I've already shot at in that shooting phase. And I'll also do 1 for Disintegration Capacitors, which is auto wound on 6s to hit. 16 shots hitting on 2s. 14 hits, 2 of which are automatic wounds. And the rest are wounding on 5s. For another 3, so that's 5 wounds at AP -2.
We've got 5 plus saves. Make 1. Down to 7 wounds.
And we'll shoot the Sautekh Lord at it as well. 3 shots for 4. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, because he does actually have an aura of that, for 4 hits. And wounding on 5s, 1.
5 plus save.
4 plus.
Oh, it's only AP -1.
Yeah.
But I rolled a 5 anyway, so yeah.
On to the charge phase, and I'm going to charge the Dreadnought with the Sautekh Destroyers.
Yeah, and I will spend my command point to Overwatch. So we'll start with the grenade launchers. 2d6 shots for 3. Hitting on 6s, rerolling 1s because of the captain. 2 1s. No hits. Heavy flamer, d6 automatic hits for 1. Wounds on a 4. Does not wound. And the Gatling cannon, 12 shots, hitting on 6s. Rerolling 1s because of the captain. And 1 for Bond Marshal. Only 1 hit. Wounding on a 3. Ear wounds.
4 plus. No, failed. So the wounded one is down to 1 wound.
Yay.
Charge. Yeah, 5 tough. So they come in like that, down to 1 wound. Their battle scar means that they are only allowed to declare a charge against the closest unit, so that's why they had to go after the Dreadnought anyway. And then the Sautekh Lord will charge the Dreadnought as well. The 7's good. And he brings himself in like that. At the start of the fight phase, the Plasma Sight can use its Infused Madness ability for a Sautekh Destroyer unit within 3 inches. Gives them +1 strength and attacks, but I do have to roll a dice, and on a 1, one of them dies. So I'll do that on the Destroyers. It can work on the Lord as well. So I need to roll a dice on a 1. 1 dies. No, it's fine. And then I'll select the Sautekh Destroyers to attack first. Start with the Hyperphase Reap Blade, which is the big one. Has an extra attack and an extra strength, so it's only 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, rerolling everything because of their battle scar. So I could reroll those ones anyway because of the Lord. So 4 hits. This is strength 8 thanks to the Plasma Sight, so wounding on 3s. But rerolling 1s thanks to the Lord's Aura for 4 wounds at AP -4.
What's the damage?
3 each.
So it takes 8 damage, that's going to die.
Yep.
Does it blow up on a 6? No. So Dreadnought goes down.
I think it's worth consolidating these guys. They've kind of done their job now, so they're going to consolidate into the intercessors. I can actually fight them 2 inches across this barricade, so I don't need to get too close to the captain. I think this is better than having their shooting. They do have a lot of attacks because they're veteran intercessors, but they won't all be able to get within range. Because he charged, I will pile in and consolidate with the Sautekh Lord And he can't attack them because he didn't declare them as a charge target, but again, that will deny their shooting it next turn. And actually, a slight adjustment, I'll leave this destroyer here because then the plasma site is within 3 and he can't be shot then, thanks to his rules.
2 of the veteran intercessors are able to get within 2 inches of that destroyer so they can fight him. And they have 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, and 6s are automatic wounds because of duelists. So there's 1 auto wound, and I can reroll all of those because of their 1s or with bomb marshal. 4 re-hits, wounding on 5s. Oh, 2 more.
3 plus armor saves. Oh, I failed 1, so he's only got 1 wound, so he will die.
Does he stand up again?
But he might reanimate. Nearly. Ooh. Again, but no. So that destroyer is killed, so it did cost me that, but hopefully it'll be worth it.
The other intercessor squad is engaged with the destroyer lord, so they'll get to pile in as well. And they can all just about get within 2 inches of the destroyer lord, fight him over the barricade. So we've got 11 attacks, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, 6s auto wound. I can reroll all of those misses. Ooh, there's a 6, and the rest all hit. And 10 ordinary hits, wounding on 5s. And there's 2 more wounds, so 3 in total.
3 plus armor saves, failed 1, so he just takes a wound, he's down to 5.
So that's the end of Necron's turn 2, on to Space Marines turn 2. So in my command phase, I'm going to say that squad markers are in the assault doctrine, so they get AP-1 on their pistols and melee weapons. And in my movement phase, the captain is just going to move around so that he's just inside the ruins, hopefully be able to charge that. And squad gunners are going to valiantly hold up the destroyer lord. That'll be on to the shooting phase. So I'll start with Captain Palamas. He's going to throw a crack grenade at the plasma site. It's not within 3 inches of a destroyer, so he can throw grenades at it. 1 shot, hitting on 2s. He hits, wounds on a 3. He wounds.
So I'm in the cover, so the AP-1 cancels out the cover, so I'm on my 4 plus save. Nope, he's only got 1 wound.
So it dies.
Yep, so the plasma site is destroyed.
And then I'll do the veteran intercessor squad. They're going to fire their pistols at that remaining destroyer. So you got 5 pistol shots hitting on 3s and rerolling 1s because of the captain. Ooh, good job, we can reroll 1s. And we can roll that too because of bomb marshal. 4 hits, wounding on 5s, 2 wounds. AP-1, but it's technically in cover.
Yeah, either because I'm on the other side of the barricade or because I'm still in the ruins. So, oh, that's a wound going through though.
Down to 2. And then squad gunners is going to fire their pistols at the destroyer lord. 5 shots, hitting on 3s, you're on 1s. Roll the 1, into a hit, wounding on 5s. Or 3 wounds, but he gets +1 to his armor save because he's behind the barricade.
So 2 plus. Yeah, make more.
Then in the charge phase, the captain will charge the remaining destroyer. And he gets a charge distance of 7. That's probably enough to get where I want him to go.
Since I'm technically in defensible cover, which is this ruin, I can set to defend against the captain's charge, which gives me +1 to hit in the fight phase, should he survive.
We also realise that it's not very clear how engagement range works when things are behind cover, because you can fight 2 inches away, but engagement range is only 1 inch. So technically those intercessors wouldn't have been within an inch, which means that they could have shot with their bolt rifles. But we established that if Will had known that, he'd have moved a bit closer, so the easiest way to fix it is that this destroyer is within an inch of this intercessor. It does mean that I get an extra attack on it, which we'll do now.
Yeah, this is the defence line rules that the barricade has, and it says units are eligible to fight if they're within 2 inches, but it doesn't say that they're within engagement range, so...
Yeah, and I basically have to redo my entire turn. We've gone too far into all that, so This is the easiest way to fix that.
Yeah.
So there's an extra intercessor gets to attack at the end of last turn. He gets to reroll those 1s. He gets an automatic wound and 2 hits. And he wins on 5s. He only gets 1 wound.
So another 3 plus save. Oh, which I failed. So it's actually...
Yeah, so that destroys only 1 wound. That's all fixed. Otherwise they would have been shooting with bolt rifles and I might have moved the captain differently and it would have gotten all confusing. So now the captain can make his charge, which I rolled a 7 for. So the captain's going to end up on the other side of the ruins, so the Necron warriors over there can't shoot at him. So the captain's got 6 attacks, hitting on 2s. Well, good thing he hits on 2s, and I can reroll that 1 because of bomb marshal. And they all hit, no automatic wounds. Wounding on 4s. That's 3 wounds.
So I have to make 3 6 plus saves. No. And he's destroyed, so I don't get to reanimate.
The remaining destroyer is removed. That's another kill for the captain. And then the destroyer lord gets to fight them.
So I'm going to use his Hyperphase Harvester to attack, so I get 4 attacks which are -1 to hit, so hitting on 3s. So I can't reroll that 2 because he only rerolls 1s. But it's Strength 8, so wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s because of his aura, which does affect himself. So 3. AP -4.
So I get a 6 plus save because we're behind a heavy cover from the barricade. So 6s, none at all. So there's 3 dead intercessors. Wounded man goes down. And I'll take away these two as well. And then they can be picked to fight because they're both within 2 inches of him. The 2 remaining intercessors have to pile in, so this chap is within an inch of the Destroyer Lord, so he's stuck in combat. 5 attacks from the intercessors, hitting on 3s, not rerolling 1s because the captain's too far away. Only 2 hits, wounding on 5s.
Bomb Marshal.
Oh, I'm Bomb Marshal, sorry. So 3 hits. Oh, 2 wounds then.
And he has a 2+ save because he's behind heavy cover. Yeah, he's fine.
Finally, in the morale phase, those intercessors have to take a morale test because they took 3 casualties. So anything but a 6. 2, so therefore. That's the end of battle round 2. The captain managed to kill an enemy model, so I gain another 10 victory points and go up to 20. And we'll head into battle round 3 and Necron turn 3. At the start of the battle round, I'm going to switch to the Assault Doctrine, so the captain gets benefits, and I can always change them if I need to.
In my command phase, the Sautekh Lord regains his wound he lost. In the movement phase, the warriors with Gauss Flares have moved away. And over here, these warriors have moved up, so 6 of them are in the ruins and they can see through them, the other 2 can't. And the Lord has fallen back. I did debate for a while whether to do that or not, but I figure that the captain can run away quite easily, and I've only got a couple of turns after this one to catch him, so much as I'd like to kill those intercessors, I kind of need the Lord to be in a better position, so we'll do that. In the shooting phase, we'll start with the Phalanx Aleph shooting their Gauss Flares at the captain, because he is the closest target. We've got 12 shots hitting on 3s, that's 9 hits, and wounding on 4s. 5. AP-1, but you ignore that.
Yeah, because of the Ares and Ares, that's 5 2+ saves. Well, I failed 2, but I got a 6+ shrug from restoratives. Nope, takes 2 wounds, down to 4.
And then the other Necron warriors, the 6 who are in the ruins and therefore can see through them will shoot at the veteran intercessors, and the 2 who are behind them and can't see through because of obscuring will shoot at these 2 intercessors remaining over here from Squad Gallants. We'll do the 2 on Squad Gallants first. They have 4 shots hitting on 3s. They all hit. And wounding on 3s, so it's strength 5. Oh, 2.
4+ because we got cover. Fell both, so an intercessor will die. Take away the last remaining regular one.
12 shots against the veterans hitting on 3s. That looks like 8. Wounding on 3s. 6.
6 4+ saves. Failed 4, so 2 intercessors will die. Wounded man goes down. Yeah, I'll take that guy away.
But that's it. The Sautekh Lord fell back, so he can't do anything, and I'm not going to declare any charges, so that's the end of my turn.
So in my command phase, Captain Palamas regains a wound because of restoratives. I'm going to put Squad de Marcos into the Tactical Doctrine. Oh, the captain's going to move closer to try and engage Phalanx Aleph in melee. We'll be on to the shooting phase. I'll start up here. Sergeant Gallants is just going to shoot his bolt rifle at the Necron warriors. 2 shots hitting on 3s, 1 rerolling because of Bomb Marshal, 2 hits, wounding on 4s, 2 wounds, AP-1.
Yep, I've got some guys in cover, so I'll put these on them, so 4+. Maybe one failed one, he might reanimate. Nope. So one of the ones in cover will be this one on the back.
Should have pointed out Squad Marcus did actually move around the barricade so they can it's a bit easier to get cover from there. And because they're in the Tactical Doctrine, they don't count as moving because we're an Ultramarine successor. But I think I'm still within 15 of those Necron warriors, so I'm going to shoot at them anyway. So we have 6 shots hitting on 3s, not re-rolling 1s because we're not near the captain. Ugh. You can re-roll 1 because of Bomb Marshal at least. Nope. 2 hits, wounding on 4s, 2 wounds, AP-2 because of Tactical Doctrine.
Yeah, we'll go on guys in cover again, so 5+. Nope. And do they reanimate? No. We'll kill 2 more, and these ones are in cover, they're just into the ruins a little bit.
Finally, Captain Palamas will throw a grenade. He's just within 6 of this Necron up here, so he'll throw a crack grenade at him. 1 shot, hitting on a 2, hits, wounds on 3. It does.
AP-1, but I'll put it on someone in cover, so 4+. Nope. Does he reanimate? No. We'll kill the one over there because he's the closest.
Yeah, he just kept being on cover on top of the ruin. Finally, in the charge phase, Captain Palamas will charge this squad of Necron warriors. Also, forgot to mention I gained a command point at the start of the turn, so I'm on 2. Captain Palamas is going to need at least a 6. 9's going to be enough. Palamas is actually going to finish his charge just there next to that Necron warrior and will actually pile in so that he's as far away from the Lord as possible. So Palamas has 6 attacks, hitting on 2s. They all hit. 2 automatically wound. Wounding on 3s because it's strength 5. I will command point one of those to try and wipe out the squad. You roll that 2 into a 4. That's 5 wounds at AP-4.
Yep, because Assault Doctrine, there's only 5 left, so I don't get to reanimate them, and they're all killed.
That's another kill for Captain Palamas. But that'll be the end of my turn and the end of the battle round. I gain 10 victory points because Captain Palamas managed to kill someone, and the Necrons gain 10 victory points because they managed to wound him. Head into battle round 4 and Necrons turn 4.
Nothing happens in my command phase. In the movement phase, Destroyer Lord has moved up normally to hopefully pull off a charge, and these Necron warriors advanced, but they only rolled 1 unfortunately, so only the front 3 can get in range of the captain. 3 were in range, have 6 shots hitting on 4s because I advanced. It was a 3, but it was 4 hits though, it was alright. Winning on 3s. 3.
2 plus saves.
Because you ignored them.
Yep. Alright, reroll that then. Yep. Right, fine.
Destroyer Lord's gun, 2d3 shots, 2. Hitting on 2s. They did. They moved on 3s. 1.
2 plus again. Made it.
And then we will declare a charge from the Destroyer Lord.
Yeah, I'm not going to overwatch.
So here's charge roll. Here's a 7. I'm going to have to measure that, see if that's enough. So that is enough to make the charge, and he does just about fit under these rafters here. So yeah, it comes smashing through the wall. I'm going to use my Hyperphase Harvester to hit him with.
Yeah, and then I'm going to spend a command point for Transhuman Physiology, so you can only wound on 4s instead of 2s.
Makes sense. Hitting on 3s, 4 attacks, re-rolling 1s. There's 2 2s there. And winning on 4s. Oh, 2 5s there.
2 4 plus saves. Need to make both to live. Made 1, failed 1. 3 damage, so I get 3 6 plus, potentially. Oh, shrugged 1. So he takes 2 wounds, down to 3. Yeah, so the captain's going to hit back with his Mastercrafted Power Sword.
Well, I'll spend one of my command points for Whirling Onslaught, making him -1 to wound.
Yeah, so that will cancel out the extra +1 from my Champion of Humanity Warlord trait. Well, I've got 7 attacks because I was charged, hitting on 2s, and 6s auto wound. Well, there's 2 6s, and the rest are all hits, and we're wounding on 5s. 3 more wounds, so that's 5 4 plus invulnerable save.
2 damage each, so I have to make 3 of them. I've only made 1, and I literally can't do anything about that.
I actually killed the Destroyer Lord. I didn't expect that to happen, to be honest. And that will be the end of your turn.
Yeah.
So it's on to Space Marine's turn 4. Well, in my command phase, Captain Palamas regains a wound, goes up to 4, which is important for his survivor agenda. Squad Marcos is going to stay in the tactical doctrine, and I gain a command point. In my movement phase, Squad Marcos is going to move over to this ruined wall so he can see the Necron warriors. Sergeant Gallinus is going to move into the ruins so he can shoot through them, and Captain Palamas is going to move out past the wreck of the Destroyer Lord to face the remaining Necron warriors as well. That'll be on to the shooting phase. So in the shooting phase, I'll start with the Squad Marcos, going to shoot at those Necron warriors. 6 shots hitting on 3s. Wow. Oh, we can reroll 1 because of Bond Marshal at least. Yay, 2 hits. Good job, veteran intercessors. Wounding on 4s. 1 wound. Save your -2.
6 plus. Nope. Reanimate. Nope. We'll kill the one closest to the captain.
And then Sergeant Gallinus will shoot at them as well. 2 shots hitting on 3s. Rerolling because of Bomb Marshal. 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. 1 wound. Only AP -1.
5 plus. Nope. Reanimation. Nope. Kill another one.
Captain Palamas isn't going to shoot because it's just going to make the charge harder. So in the charge phase, Captain will charge the Necron warriors.
Yeah, I'll spend my command point to Overwatch because I don't think they're going to be alive much longer, so if I can do another wound to him, it might be useful. So 6 shots hitting on 6s. Oh, 2.
Yeah.
Wounding on 3s. 2.
2 plus saves. Made both. And then his charge distance, 5. You can engage those Necron warriors. And we've got 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, 6 is also wound. Wounding on 3s.
Many.
-4.
Yep, they all did.
That's enough to wipe out the Necron warriors. And that is going to be game. There's technically 1 more battle round, so the captain would end on 5 wounds, which is important for my survivor agenda, so he'll get the full experience out of it. And at the end of the game, I believe it will be 90 victory points to 20, because I get an extra +10 for Palamas killing those Necron warriors, and then an extra 50 for him surviving. But that'll be a victory for the Space Marines, or do all the admin stuff. So we've lined up our armies, and we need to make out-of-action tests for the units that were killed. I only have the Dreadnought, so on a 1 something bad happens. That's a 4, so he's okay. We've got to make rolls for every single Necron unit, so...
Starting with Apophis the Butcher himself. He rolls a 2, he's fine. The Avengers, the Scorpion Destroyers, 2. They rolled a 1 last time, so...
Yeah.
The Plasma Sight, I'll try and get that box. A 2.
Yeah.
Squad Aleph with the Flayers. Oh, they rolled a 1. I'll do this in a minute, but Squad Bet roll for them first. They were alright. So only one bad thing happens. Well, I'm not going to give them a battle scar, they're not going to get any experience with this battle, and I deduct d6, and they only had one to start with, so they're down to 0 experience again, basically.
After all of that, we had experience, so basically on my side the captain got 5 kills, so he gains an experience for that. I'm going to mark him for greatness because it seems fair, so that's another 3. He gains 1 for turning up, so he's up to 5, and then he gains another 4 for survivor because he survived and he was on more than half wounds, so he has 9 experience, so he'll gain a battle honour as well, and everyone else just gains an experience for turning up.
And then for my experience, everyone gets 1 for turning up, apart from Squad Aleph. I only got 1 kill, so that puts the Avengers, the Destroyers, on 2 kills total, including the one from the previous game, so they don't get any experience for that. And I'm going to mark Lord Apophis for greatness, to give him 3 experience, just to get him on the road to gaining a level up.
I'm going to have to go away and decide what I'm going to give the captain. Probably give him a Crusade Relic, and I've got a free battle trait to hand out as well because I won the game, but I'll figure that out and tell you about that next time. But in the meantime, we'll recap this game for you now. So that was our second game in our Mystery of Artana III Crusade narrative campaign. How did you think that went?
I think better than I thought it was going to go at the beginning, definitely, and better than I thought it was going to go following my first turn as well. I think the result was still ultimately what I expected, but it wasn't quite as bad as I expected.
I guess with our last game, it ended up being much closer than it looked.
Yeah.
Whereas with this game, I don't know, maybe it's like the reverse. Well, it's certainly like if I'd failed both his armour saves, he would have won the game, or my captain near the end.
This one was closer than it was.
Perhaps underestimated quite how dangerous the Sautekh Destroyers were.
I think I did as well. I know I'd managed to do some damage to the Dreadnought before they got into melee, but to have him just disappear with one of the Destroyer's attack was a surprise, to be honest.
Yeah,
because at the beginning I was pretty terrified of the Dreadnought. I didn't feel I had much to do with it. An obvious question is, why didn't I bring any anti-tank weapons? And the answer is, I don't have any in my Necron collection. I do want to get some more, but time and money and painting and stuff. But having said that, it turned out I did have the tools to deal with the Dreadnought. I just didn't believe I did. Just thinking in hindsight, maybe I should have marked the Plasma Sight for greatness, because I think with the extra attack and strength, it was what got the Dreadnought dead.
Yeah, I'm surprised the captain did. I think he didn't do quite so well. He did wipe out basically your entire army. Well, he's got the killing blow on all your units.
He was clearly pretty annoyed that some Necrons had come to try and assassinate him. He just went and wiped out the entire Necron
Had to defend
force.
the Archaeotech that had been uncovered.
I mean, I was pleased you didn't have any really strong firepower units like the Eradicators or the Hellblasters, but to be honest, even 10 Intercessors, especially when some of them can choose to be in the Tactical Doctrine all the time, could really start to chew through the Necron Warriors. And the Warriors weren't that effective, particularly in the first turn, but they were slowly taking wounds off you, so being able to...
Yeah, I think it's the same issue you had last game, where you ended up spending a lot of command points to do a wound.
Yeah. I think successful command points were the ones where I was shooting at the Dreadnought. I think probably 3 command points with +1 to hit and the automatic wounds.
Which is why I'm thinking of giving it, with my free battle trait, I'll give it the one that makes it heal a wound at the start of my command phase.
And I quite like the stratagem that makes Destroyers -1 to wound against shooting or melee, which is quite handy.
Yeah.
It didn't save me in the end when you rolled a ton of 5s to wound anyway, but I think I said a bit last game, I'm not that impressed with the Necron stratagems. I think most of the units in the Necron Codex have their own unique stratagem, but there are very few stratagems that are sort of across the board improving lots of things. I think the Sautekh one that I used, +1 to hit with every subsequent unit that shoots at something, that's the kind of thing that is really good, but the Necrons actually don't have very much of that. You have to take specific units to get certain benefits.
And there is some really powerful stuff, it's just that you don't get it with Indomitus.
No, exactly, yeah. I guess I would say with this mission, it's got quite a strong narrative to it, which is interesting, but I think it could skew quite heavily depending on exactly what faction you are, because if your warlord is, say, just like an Imperial Guard officer or some minor character from some other faction, the way the rules work out, if you're just playing a one-off Crusade game, I think you technically pick your army before you know the mission. You might end up with a guy who's not very useful for this. It was kind of funny in a way. You could gain 10 victory points a turn by sort of shooting a Necron warrior with a pistol.
Yeah, I mean, that is a bit... I've probably got lucky there a few times, like picking one off and throwing a grenade at your plasma sight.
Yeah. Whereas I have to fight my way through your army to get to your character to wound him for 10 victory points every turn. It does come down to whether he dies, really, I think. I also think I made a few mistakes. Like, obviously, there was the initial mistake where I just forgot the rules my Destroyers were, which you gracefully let me fix. But also, when I was deploying, I kind of hadn't got it in my head that I got to choose who went first, so I think I could have deployed better. Like, the Necron Warriors were a bit hampered on both sides by the terrain. I should have deployed a little bit better in that respect, I think. But I was just a bit too worried about, there's a Dreadnought going to be rampaging around. And once again, my army obviously is 2 units of Necron Warriors and some Sautekh Destroyers and then something else, because that's pretty much what I'm limited to. Could have brought the Captain Reanimator instead of the unit of Necron Warriors, but I have a suspicion it would have done very little compared to the Necron Warriors.
It could just be a case that Necrons don't do very well in lower power games.
No, I think you need a bigger Necron army to get more use out of the synergies. And once again, I didn't bring a noble model, so I didn't get to use my command protocols.
Yeah, I'm kind of weirded out that the Necron Lord isn't noble. I think also the Royal Warden isn't a noble either. I think there should be more flexibility. Or at least, even in a Crusade game, there should be a battle trait where this character counts as a noble, so you can still use command protocols without being stuck bringing a Lord.
Because on smaller games, I basically have to bring the Overlord every single game in order to game them, at least from the roster I have.
And that doesn't quite fit into the narrative.
No, we don't want to have the same character every game.
He's not going to reveal himself yet. Well, I think that's it for our little recap. So if you enjoyed this content, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions as to how to expand on the Necron forces we have, I'd be interested to know. I'm sure Will would as well. And we've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.